murderer is not as forgiving as I am.
So on this case, let me see, the jury found him guilty and he's coming to the court for punishment.
Yes, sir. Applied for probation.
All right, thank you. State versus Richard Casanova. And are you Mr. Casanova?
Sir.
All right, he was found guilty on December 4th
Yes, sir.
by the jury. And he elected to have the court assess punishment. The PSI was waived by defense in the state. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I did.
Any defense, yes, I have no objection to moving forward.
Okay. And so we set it for this time for anyone to present any evidence or if they had any witnesses.
We have no witnesses other than my client, yeah.
All right, defense, any evidence?
Just arguing, yeah.
All right, did you want to call your witness or no?
Let me ask him if he wants to speak here.
Okay, sure.
Yes, on, yes.
Yes, sure. I would call my client.
All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Richard Thomas Casanova.
All right, do you want to ask questions or is there something
I think he wants-
specifically he wished to say?
Richard, do you want to address the court at this point? About the punishment phase?
I just want to say that when I get out, I'm not going to go back to my mom's house or my daughter's, and I'll go to Hayden for home. And I wasn't aware that I couldn't go, to try to get my mail. I thought that the protective order had expired because it was 1 year, and I could never get my mail, so I didn't know what was going on. I was put on the street pretty much. I didn't have no place to go. So,
All right. Any questions?
no question.
All right. So what I can tell you, Mr. Casanova, the fact that you're telling me that you didn't know about the protective order, that is what's considered as mitigation evidence. These type of offenses are sort of like strict liability. Was there a protective order in place? That's either yes or no. And did you violate it? Yes or no. So that's the way these type of charges are. There are some charges that are slightly different, but not this. Okay.
Yes.
All right. State, what are you requesting for punishment?
Given the history judge and fact it's not the first violation of protective order we asked for, here's to deceive.
All right. And defense, what are you requesting?
Would be requesting probation in light of he's been incarcerated since the date of the offense, which was late April of 2024, Your Honor, hasn't been in trouble with jail. And he is expressing to the court that he has no intention of going back there, Your Honor. He was under what he thought was a mistaken belief of the fact, Your Honor.
I do have one thing to add. He was indicted as a repeater. We're just going to ask for the judge finds it true.
All right. So let me see the indictment. And you're proceeding on the repeater enhancement allegation?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Casanova, you're still under oath. I'm going to read the repeat offender enhancement allegation paragraph, and I need to know from you if it's true or not true. And before you answer, you can discuss that with your attorney. It states, and it is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above on the 24th day of June 2010, and cause number 2007 CR 2886 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of criminally negligent homicide with deadly weapon. So the question is, how do you plead to that? True or not true? And you can speak with your attorney before answering.
True.
Right. Then the court will find that true based upon your plea of true and based upon state's exhibit number 1. Now, what the court's understanding is that this location he went to, is that the daughter's house, mom's house, his house? It appears that during the testimony, he was saying that's his actual place of residence. I know sometimes when there are violations of protective orders that are filed, whoever they deem to be the offending party, they make them leave, whether their name is on the property or not. So the persons who were at the home, what I remember from the testimony is it was his daughter. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
So is this protective order involving the daughter, that location, and his mom?
Daughter. I'll have to check to see if there's any other parties that are protected, but I believe it's.
That's the only one that was under protective.
So here's my question.
Daughter and and that address.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Has anyone spoken to the daughter?
So I can inform the court of what the daughter told me, but of course I don't know how.
Well, do you want to speak to the attorney before?
Let me
Yes.
give him give me 30 seconds.
Sure. And are both parties still wishing to proceed without the input from the complainant state?
At this point, Judge, it's pretty clear that the parent does not have any part of the sentence.
All right, defense?
We proceed without.
All right. So what I can tell you, Mr. Casanova, I don't think that probation would be appropriate in this case. I have to consider your entire history. It's not just this one incident. All right. So then the question becomes, the state is requesting 8 years. What are you requesting?
I request a minimum, Your Honor, too.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is doing. The court is finding the enhancement true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has heard all the evidence in this case. Based upon the evidence that the court heard, I understand the nature of protective orders, but it doesn't appear that from the testimony that the court heard that the defendant was there to be violent, that the defendant was there to cause a disruption. The only testimony that the court heard was that he was there to collect his mail. And the testimony that he gave sounded believable to the court and sounded credible, because otherwise, why would he just be waiting, if not to pick up his mail, as he said? But we're not allowed to be at the residence. You understand? All right. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Seems to be no contact with Crystal Casanova. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's from here till eternity. Now, if she decides that she wants to see you, then you all will need to file motions with the court and ask that be removed. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So any location where she may be, you're not allowed to go there. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Whether it's your house or not your house. If it is your house and you feel as though you have a right to be there, that's something that needs to be settled in the court of law. That's not something where you just show up.
Yes.
You can't show up for your mail. You'll need to go to the post office and ask them to change your mailing address. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Counsel. Texas versus Jonathan Ryan Nicholas. Did you understand you're charged with possession of child third-degree felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There are no applications. This will run concurrent. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, sir.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, we just ask that you follow the plea agreement.
All right, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 10 years in prison. This will run concurrent. There's to be no contact with minors, and the court will give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor. Nothing from the state.
All right, we can go off the record. All right, I will tell you, many people think that this isn't a crime. Oh, I didn't do anything. I'm just watching photos. But each time you do that, you are victimizing a child. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So honestly, there's nothing I can tell you that will probably make a dent in your psyche. I'm unsure, but you're going to have to not be around children. You understand? At all. Not be on the internet or anything of that nature. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I remember your mother's testimony, and your mother is enabling you. So you're going to have to be an adult. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you.
This case you just watched, in total, was 8 minutes and 51 seconds long. But after cutting out all the mandatory boring stuff like this,
6.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a
It came to a total of 1 minute and 34 seconds. So please subscribe to my channel, because if you are going to give me your time, I'm going to make that time worth it.
All right, court is calling State of Texas versus Jonathan Orlee. And are you Mr. Orlee?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, you entered a plea of no contest on April 18th. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 12 years in the prison. And the state is taking in consideration 4 cases. And there are the conditions of affirmative finding of family violence and no contact. Any witnesses?
No objection, Your Honor. No witness, Your Honor. The only thing I have in addition to the PSI, Your Honor, is a letter that was submitted by one of the family members that they tried to interview. They weren't able to interview. It's an email, actually. I've
Any
provided
objections to the court reviewing the
a
letter?
copy to the state already.
No objections.
All right, the court has reviewed the letter from Valerie Medina. All right, I'll hear argument
Yes, Your Honor.
unless there's any witnesses.
No, there's
All
no
right.
witness other than, I think the PSI, Your Honor, is very detailed.
Mhm.
They interviewed all the family members that I know of, except for Ms. Medina, which provided that. They're all in favor of Jonathan having community supervision. As the court can see, it's a very lengthy PSI. He had a very traumatic thing that happened to him a few years ago, where the mother of his children went into the kitchen in the house and shot and killed herself. After that, it's been a downhill spiral for him. He's been into drugs. He's been doing meth and drinking, and it's been downhill that led up to this. Before that, he actively was employed. He worked at UPS for many years, was active in working and taking care of everything, raising the family. After that, as the court could see, it's the drugs took over, and mental health issues also that he had in addition occurred and led up to the incident here, where there was clearly a wrong incident where there was a knife involved and police were shown. He was actually shot, Your Honor, by the police during this confrontation. He's understands that what he did is wrong, and he's asking the court for help, and he needs help. He understands. If you look at that, he was very honest with them, telling how much meth he had been smoking and drinking that day. And in fact, he stated he doesn't really even remember that much about it. He was so high on meth. So there's no question he has a problem with that, Your Honor. He's asking the court to help. He has been worked up and been approved for DDR-F and for the MIC unit. So we're asking the court to grant deferred and give him treatment that he needs so that he can get his life together, get out and help take care of his children that he has.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. And as is of course included with the stipulations, this is wherein the defendant assaults his partner, his girlfriend inside a house, hitting her on the thigh, pulling her hair, striking her in the face. Officers arrive on scene, and then they witness the following events. Chasing the defendant, he basically grabbed his sister. She was able to break away. He grabbed his mother, put a knife to her neck, used her as a shield, if you will. And then he raised his knife as if to stab her. And that is when officers went ahead and discharged their firearm. There were multiple officers on scene. This is happening in real time while they're chasing him through the alley. The state absolutely understands the trauma wherein his partner, the mother of his daughter, shot herself, and he's going in the room and experiencing that trauma, and the state understands that. But in the PSI, it's multiple mentions of this being nothing but a misunderstanding and a lack of accountability. So the state would respectfully request incarceration, and we believe this person is a danger to the community and a danger to himself and his family.
All right, Mr. Orlee, is there anything you wish to say?
Yes, Your Honor.
You want to raise your right hand for me, please? And lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jonathan Daniel Orlee.
All right, what would you wish to say?
I would like to say, Your Honor, that it was, if you give me a chance to be a law-abiding citizen, I could do the deferred probation.
This guy sounds like a real rocket scientist. It's funny how they always come up with the movie quote of the decade that they want to become a law-abiding citizen, definitely lacking creative originality, hoping that the judge hasn't heard that one before.
That day, I wasn't trying to hurt. I wasn't trying to hurt my family at all. I was just trying to run away from the law. The knife wasn't no open blade. No one got cut. No one got stabbed. No one got hurt. No one got anything at all with the knife. I had to protect the sheet over the knife, and I had no intentions of hurting my loved ones.
So why did you put a knife to their throats?
I didn't mean to. Like, my mom's short. I hugged my mom. I hugged my mom and looked down. I didn't really try to hurt her at all.
Okay.
And I had to protect the sheet on the knife, so there was no way she was gonna get cut at all.
Whenever someone ends up asking you the question, why did you have a knife to your mum's throat? If you don't realize how much of a bag of shit you are in that very moment, then they would be definitely someone that is so stupid that they think that we would believe that there could be some innocent excuse for that happening. What a bag of shizing.
And then I just hugged my mom, looked down, and then I got shot. And that was the end of it. But I wasn't.
So you're saying you were just intending to hug your mom with a knife at her throat?
Wow. She was short. I didn't mean to put the knife in her throat at all.
Okay. Why were you hugging her with a knife in your hand?
Because it was just, it was like a little boy crying to his mom, like, like, help, help. Really, because I was scared because I had a gun pointing at me the whole time.
But why were the police there in the first place?
Because me and my ex-girlfriend got in a fight, and I left the scene. I already diffused the situation, and I was walking to the store, and then that's when the cop confronted me. And if you see in the body cam, I was walking away to the store, and that's when the cop, told me, hey, and I thought it was someone else. I turned around, I took out the knife, and then I saw it was a cop. He pointed his gun. I put the knife back in the sheet, and that's when I ran. And that's what led to everything. But I didn't try to hurt my sister at all, or my mom. I was just running away.
Very believable story coming from someone trying to look like a Mario Kart version of Hitler.
All right. Any questions, defense?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions, state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. And Mr. Orlee, I want you to know that I have listened to everything that you said. I always read everything very carefully, and sometimes I'll reread things as well. The court is going to deny your application. Court will find you guilty, sentence you to 12 years in the prison.
A bad day, Adolf.
Give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact. All right. And I'm requesting the mental health unit for you. I cannot force them to place you in that unit because I don't have jurisdiction to force them to do that. But it will be in the judgment. You can ask for it. If you don't ask for it, they're not going to consider it. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you.
If you are new to my channel, please subscribe as I edit these cases and remove all of the mundane, boring, repetitive stuff. And I even remove the silences, so you get only the juicy bits, which I think are always the best bits. Are looking for another episode that has all the boring stuff cut out and gives you just the good stuff, then here a couple that may interest you. Enjoy.